Namo Didafa, good morning. Thank you for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The first mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion and learn ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I'm determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to condone any act of killing in the world, in my thinking, or in my way of life. For our Dharma lessons, we're reading Ajahn Chah's Everything is Teaching Us, and we're continuing this morning in his talk, Wholehearted Training. So the Buddha taught us to meditate. In meditation, first we have to practice samadhi, which means making the mind still and peaceful, like water in a basin. If we keep putting things in it and stirring it up, it will always be murky. If the mind is always allowed to be thinking and worrying over things, we can never see anything clearly. If we let the water in the basin settle and become still, we can see all sorts of things reflected in it. When the mind is settled and still, wisdom will be able to see things. The illuminating light of wisdom surpasses any other kind of light. What was the Buddha's advice on how to practice? He taught to practice like the earth, practice like water, practice like fire, practice like wind. Practice like the old things, the things we are already made of, the solid element of earth, the liquid element of water, the warming element of fire, the moving element of wind. If someone digs the earth is not bothered. It can be shoveled, tilled, or watered. Rotten things can be buried in it, but the earth will remain indifferent. Water can be boiled or frozen or used to wash something dirty. It's not affected. Fire can burn beautiful and fragrant things or ugly and foul things. It doesn't matter to the fire. When wind blows, it blows on all sorts of things, fresh and rotten, beautiful and ugly, without concern. The Buddha used this analogy. The aggregation that is us is merely a coming together of the elements of earth, water, fire, and wind. If you try to find an actual person there, you can't. There are only these collections of elements. But for all our lives, we never thought to separate them like this, to see what is really there. We have only thought this is me, that is mine. We have always seen everything in terms of a self, never seeing that there is merely earth, water, fire, and wind. But the Buddha teaches in this way. He talks about the four elements and urges us to see that this is what we are. There are earth, water, fire, and wind. There is no person here. Contemplate these elements to see that there is no being or individual, but only earth, water, fire, and wind. It's deep, isn't it? It's hidden deep. People will look, but they can't see this. We are used to contemplating things in terms of self and other all the time, so our meditation is still not very deep. It doesn't reach the truth, and we don't get beyond the way things appear to be. We remain stuck in the conventions of the world, and being stuck in the world means remaining in the cycle of transformation, getting things and losing them, dying and being born, being born and dying, suffering in the realm of confusion. Whatever we wish for and aspire to doesn't really work out the way we want, because we are seeing things wrongly. Our grasping attachments are like this. We are still far, very far from the real path of Dharma. So please, get to work right now. Don't say, after I'm older, I'll start going to the monastery. What is aging? Young people have aged as well as old people. From birth, they have been aging. We like to say, when I'm older. Hey, young folks are older than they were. This is what aging means. All of you, please take a look at this. We all have this burden. This is a task for all of us to work on. Think about your parents or grandparents. They were born, then they aged, and then in the end they passed away. Now we don't know where they've gone. So the Buddha wanted us to seek the Dharma. This kind of knowledge is what's most important. Any form of knowledge or study that does not agree with the Buddhist way is learning that involves dukkha. Our practice of Dharma should be getting us beyond suffering. If we can't fully transcend suffering, then we should at least be able to transcend it a little, now, in the present. For example, when someone speaks harshly to us, if we don't get angry with them, we have transcended suffering. If we get angry, we have not transcended dukkha. When someone speaks harshly to us, if we reflect on Dharma, we will see it is just heaps of earth. Okay, he is criticizing me. He's just criticizing a heap of earth. One heap of earth is criticizing another heap of earth. Water is criticizing water. Wind is criticizing wind. Fire is criticizing fire. But if we really see things in this way, others will probably call us mad. He doesn't care about anything. He has no feelings. When someone dies, we won't get upset and cry, and they will call us crazy again. Where can we stay? It really has to come down to this. We have to practice to realize for ourselves. Getting beyond suffering does not depend on others' opinions of us, but on our own individual state of mind. Never mind what they will say. We experience the truth for ourselves. Then we can dwell at ease. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for joining me today.